Happy Wednesday, Sooner Nation. Welcome back to the Sooner Surge Double Trouble. Jay, it feels like it's been a week for me. It's only been 2 nights, but I'm glad to be back.
Glad you're
thanks
back.
for all the viewers who are on here each and every night.
I thought you might have entered the portal
last night. What?
Thought you might have entered the portal.
No, I'm definitely not gonna enter the portal, Jay.
That's right. Hey, big day today for Oklahoma.
Yeah, 2025 class gets 2 more commits. Maliek, Hawkins, and Trent Wilson, Jay.
Yeah, Trent Wilson, top 10 defensive lineman for the 25 class. Can't go wrong with that. I mean, that's a great get for Oklahoma, especially with all the noise you heard about Penn State and even a little bit of Ohio State. So that was a big get for Oklahoma. Trent Wilson, huge get for Todd Bates. Maliek Hawkins, I think a lot of people figured that's the way that would go. No surprise there. It is interesting. You got the Hawkins brothers and the Bowen brothers both there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Trent Wilson, 6'3", 265. I like his height. He's got a wingspan, Jay, of 6'8". I don't know if you knew that.
That's pretty good for interior linemen. I mean,
yeah,
great day for Oklahoma, and that get them. I think Hunter is at 12 or 14 commits now. Hunter will know.
It's not 14, I don't think, Jay.
I think it's 12.
Yeah.
Which would mean 7 of those are 4 stars. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Top 5 class right now. So
yeah, it's 12. It's 12, Hunter says. And
yeah.
Yeah, his wingspan, 6'8". Now, he really, if you look at his high school career, he's moved around a lot. Been at several different schools. I think he's a guy that can go 6'3", probably 295 by the time he really gets into playing. So, yeah, Monty, good to see you as well. Good to be back on here tonight.
What's up, Bradley? Glad you're back. Yeah, great commit for Oklahoma today. And I do think it's interesting. Yeah, Gary says still got the big dog to go, Jonah Williams. We'll see how that pans out.
Jonah is the big fish, Jay. He's the big fish.
Yeah, but we'll see how that pans out. I mean,
that was a pun, Jay.
This is a good. I was getting ready to talk about Bear Alexander. Stubby says, "I hate this, guys, but let's compare USC to OU recruiting class. Is Lincoln doing better? It's a talking point." Hunter, drop right where they're ranked right now, and
they're not ranked ahead of OU.
What's that?
You think they're ranked ahead of OU?
Yeah, I think they're 4 maybe
in 2025.
Yeah.
Well, that class isn't even near complete yet. But that's nowhere near complete, that class.
Well, neither's OU's.
No, I'm not saying it is, but if you want to go based on what BV has done, he's recruiting better than Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I think Lincoln Riley's doing a good job at USC right now recruiting. Here's what I'll say. That Bear Alexander stuff was weird. Enters the portal,
I don't understand.
Enters the portal to go right back to him. They must have just
money.
Said, okay, leave him.
They threw some money at him, Jay.
That's right.
Thunder looked great tonight. Huge, massive win. Playoffs are coming up soon.
Seriously, question though, on the Thunder, where do you want them to end up? 1 or 2 or 3?
1 would be the best. You get home.
I don't like the match. I don't think I'd like the matchup at 1.
Who is it? Lakers or Clippers?
Lakers or Warriors, man, probably.
Yeah, I don't love that either.
But we'll see. Hey,
Matt,
are there any offensive linemen?
The only one, Matt, the only one that I've heard of is the Hickman kid from SMU.
Yes.
He's a center. He would be a perfect fit. Jay, what I said a minute ago was Jonah is the big fish. Did you get it?
Jonah in the whale. I got your terminology. I don't know about Jonah.
Hey, Jay, let me ask you a question, as you always say. What's polarizing mean?
Hey, I got called out on that last night. I guess I used the term wrong, okay?
I went and watched the live. Yeah. Bauer Sharp. Hey, Sooner Surgeaholics, Bauer Sharp is not polarizing, okay?
Whatever.
Bobby says Amarion Robinson is more likely than Jonah Williams. Again, I the whole Jonah
it's
Williams
too
thing.
early it's too early in Jonah Williams Senior fan to think anything. I think it's a
But Jay,
five-star.
the baseball thing too.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just so early on. 5 stars. It's hard to get those guys to have any idea really of what's going to happen this early. I think.
Absolutely.
So, spring game 10 days away, Jeremy. 10 days, man.
I got to buy my tickets, Jay.
It's 10 days away, man.
Bobby says the on-3 is a joke. That, to me, they've lost some credibility, not just because of where they have OU, because that would be bad if I just said that. That would be a little subjective. I think a lot of their rankings are kind of whack.
Hey, what about Texas? Their linebacker sounds like got kicked off the team.
It does sound like that, Jay.
Hey, this is a serious question, and I would love the viewers' comments on this. Here we go. Last year, the strength of the recruiting class, 2024, was the power line, okay? What do you think needs to be the biggest strength and the biggest, maybe the things they go after in this 25 class? What do you think needs to be, okay, out of all the positions, 2025 class number 1 was this position. What do you think it needs to be?
I'm still saying offensive and defensive line. Trench.
I think O-line. I think a lot of people say
O-line probably, but
yeah. I would agree.
I mean, that's to me where you got to get it. It's Eric says simple and plain.
Right.
That's exactly right. Now,
Bomb. What's up,
Bomb says online and kicker. They have a true freshman kicker that's about as good as they get in rankings. So, and here's the thing. Kickers don't leave early. So if this guy's the guy, he'll be there for 4 years.
And here's the thing. I think now OU has had really good classes the last 2. They have another one. Now it's 3 classes, okay? You're at the point where you're going to get the skill guys. I mean, you are. Just wide receivers, all that stuff. I think the key now moving forward is going to always be every year offensive line, defensive line. If you're wanting to win natties and you want to be there with Georgia, that's you're going to get the skill guys, but can you get the big guys in the middle? That's going to be what separates the men and the boys, as I would say.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And Sooner Legend Podcast says Trench is in the meat and potatoes of a team.
I like that analogy, meat and potatoes.
And I also think that when you lack. Look, most Sooner fans, Jay, would say that OU, where they have been lacking when they got to playoffs, when they had chance against some of these teams, was physicality. Well, if you don't recruit at a high level at the O-line and D-line, your physicality is not going to come from skill players.
Eric, I'll say this about Maliek Hawkins. I mean, he's 6'2", physical guy, and he's got the DNA in him. Yeah, he hasn't had those big offers yet. I think he's very underrated. Now, we'll see. Jeremy, I know you were kind of maybe agreeing with Eric a little bit. Is that right? Earlier today.
Here's what I would say about Maliek Hawkins. I'm not going to say he's a jag. I'm not going to say he's an elite talent yet either. Hunter says Texas wanted him. I will say he's a 3-star. I'm not going head over and heels. Am I glad we got Maliek Hawkins? You bet you I'm glad we got Maliek Hawkins, but I'm not going to crown him yet as the next coming of someone. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm a little hesitant on that. Now the Trent Wilson kid though, I'm higher on mainly because of some things that he brings that we really haven't seen on a defensive lineman at OU in a long time, and that's the 6'8" wingspan. That's his athleticism at that size. So, yes, exactly. If you want to crown them.
Eric, 5-star Mafia guy. That's right. I love Eric. Eric's like, give me all the 5 stars. I want them all. And I love that. I love that attitude about it. That's what he wants. And hey, if you want to play with the big boys, you got to get a good handful of the 5 stars.
And Jay,
Big Orange asked Big Orange says Vols will probably have one of the best D fronts in college football, but don't know about the D backs. Yeah, I would agree with that. Defensive backs, I don't know how good they're going to be. Balls.
Yeah, a couple of things. Maliek was an easy get, maybe because of Michael already being on campus. Kind of what Monty says.
He was
but
actually
also
going to come before Michael, I think.
Yeah, I mean, also though, Jay, Gary says Michael should have been a 5-star. I don't know. I don't think so. But that again, maybe he should have been.
Little bit of a late charge, I think he made. What, Jeremy? We didn't get your thoughts last night on the game being moved. Love it or hate it?
My initial thoughts when I first saw it was unreal. OU is not a team that plays on Friday night. This isn't some kind of high school team. And then as I read the article about what they're doing about OU's first game in the SEC, big kind of push for that, I'm absolutely all for it. And it beats an 11 o'clock game if that was the alternative. You're going to get the crowd, Palace on the Prairie. It's going to be rocking. So I'm all for that. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, let me get to one of these comments. I'm with it. Craig's with it. I think Big Ball asked who the Kentucky coach is going to be. I would, if I had to put money on it right now, I'd say Scott Drew.
Yeah, and that's a good fit for Scott Drew.
Which is going to cause a kind of a backfill in a lot of different roles.
Is today Hot Take Wednesday, Jay?
It is.
It's Hot Take Wednesday, or is it Hot Take every day? Tiger Woods is winning the Masters. You heard it here first, everybody. Not only will he make the cut, he's winning it. Scotty Scheffler is the best player on the planet right now. If Tiger Woods can endure, Tiger can hit the ball better than any of these guys. He knows the course better than any of them by far. He even said in an interview, as long as I can get around. Now, that's the big question. Can he get around the course?
That's what's always the question with him, right?
I hope Tiger wins it.
It'd be cool to see him in contention, that's for sure.
Now, what I want to say what Kenneth says here, because Kenneth says you don't need a bunch of 5-stars running around. You need an attitude. I mean, look at Michigan. They didn't have a bunch of 5-stars. I agree with that in part. What I will say is Trent Wilson's quote on why he came to OU was interesting, Jay.
Why is that?
He basically said, maybe Hunter can pull the quote. I'm going to paraphrase here. The quote was something to the extent of, I saw things there that I didn't see other places. Now, what he has to be referring to is culture. You're going to hate that, Jay. It's got to be the answer.
Yeah, but I also think Michigan, while they didn't have a ton of 5-stars, man, they had really good players, man. I mean, they weren't like a bunch of 2- and 3-star players. I mean, so OU's got some 5-stars this year. I mean, that's the thing. And they got
Jackson Arnold's a 5-star leading the offense.
I don't think you can win national championships without some 5-stars. And I think OU's got some now. But I don't think you can have a bunch of 3 and 4-stars and win a natty. I don't. I think you got to have a few.
Appreciate you, Hunter, dropping this quote in here. What Trent Wilson said on 3, and it's the last 2 lines that stand out, guys. When he said, "Nowhere I went stood out to me the way Oklahoma did." Now, I'm reading between the lines, but I'm telling you, it's got to be the culture. It's got to be what he felt in that way. It's not like it was raining dollar bills out of everywhere. Obviously, something stood out, and I think it's the people at OU. It's the genuineness, the authenticity. Not that that's not everywhere. I do think it exudes at OU, starting with the head guy in Brent Venables. That's what I would say. Eric, how come the elite 5-stars are not talking about culture? Give me a name. I mean, that's what I would say first. Who are we referring to? Because not everyone cares as much about culture, Eric. That's just plain and simple. It's pretty cut and dry. That's what it is sometimes. Michael Fasusi has not committed yet, has he? Am I wrong on that? Has he committed, Jay?
Michael Pasusi is not committed.
Okay, so David Stone did talk about it. He was a 5-star. I'm not saying Fasusi is coming, but I'm not saying he's not coming officially yet. And Eric, some guys care more about money than others. Some guys care about culture. Again, I'm not the 18-year-old kid who's taking visits, so I can't speak for all of them.
What do you think about Ron's comment?
I think that's wrong, Ron. I think your comment's wrong. I think OU can push money and culture at the same time.
I think you have some people that are going to go for money and culture. Some people will go just for culture. Some people will go just for money. I think that's the way it is.
Can you do both? Yeah, I can push money and culture. It just seems to me that a lot of schools are one or the other.
But here's the deal, Jeremy. Here's the thing. A lot of the culture is the way it is because you're not overpaying for certain players. Am I wrong? If
Yes.
You're not going to overpay for guys like Walter Nolan out of the portal and different guys, you're trying to keep your culture together. Correct?
Yeah, Gary says eventually money went out. Ron,
you cannot just drop bags and all this money and be culture driven. It's impossible. You can have a good culture and drop all bags and everything, but you cannot have the culture that OU and Brent Venables is trying to have. You cannot do that and overpay for guys.
I agree. Eric, I do disagree with this comment. To say the 3-stars care about culture and the elite don't, that's not accurate in my opinion. It always goes to the player, okay? How some people are raised, what some people believe in. It has nothing to do with stars in the end. To say that a 3-star always cares about culture.
Bobby's 100% correct on this, though. What do you think they're going to say?
I've seen players say it's about the money.
Who?
What?
Who?
There were people that went to. Didn't David Hicks talk about the money?
No,
Didn't Williams Winery talk about it?
Maybe insiders did, but no player has said, I'm going there because of money. Come on.
Well, they also don't just say they're going there because of culture, though.
Yeah, they do all the time.
Not a lot of them.
Yeah, they do. All the time, dude. You're wrong on this. It happens all the time.
Okay, I'm wrong, Jay. I'm wrong.
I'm just saying you are on this. I hear people say culture. I hear people say A&M's culture. I mean.
But you know it's not. That's my point.
I think what culture does.
The Arkansas kid, yes.
I think what culture does is when you're talking about the family and the parents, I think you really kind of can help drive it with them. But I also think parents a lot of times are driven by money. So I think it's a little bit of both.
I agree with Dalpos. OU has recruited well enough since BV. I 100% agree. What BV has been. Hey, what, Jay? You disagree?
No, I agree. But I think
that's been his best. That's the best thing he's done here.
Yeah, but listen, until 24, they didn't really get the defensive line guys. Now they did. 24. That's the first year they really did.
Right, but if you had a rank, what if you interviewed or did some kind of post-season evaluation, the highest thing on BV's interview chart would be recruiting and culture. The lowest would be game management, personnel decisions.
Hey, Bobby, you're right on this. They did. I just think the balance of the classes with defense and offense has been a lot better.
And I'll also say, what was their 2024 class, Jay?
What do you mean? What was
7?
It?
What was it ranked?
Where did it end up? Thought it ended up
7 or 9?
I thought it was 6. 7.
Yeah, 7. Okay. There is a massive difference in 7 and 13. There just is. So if Lincoln Riley was 13th, I think it's a big off from 7.
If you have 3 top 7 classes in a row, should you not finish top 10 and make a playoff?
That's what we've been saying, Jay.
So if you don't, then you got issues, correct?
We know what the issues would be, Jay. We've said this.
Wait, what are we talking about on this? I've seen a few people put this in there about recruiting dropped out of the top 10. Am I missing something there, Hunter?
Yeah, I didn't see that, but the reason Lincoln Riley was so high on recruiting was the offensive skill guys he was getting.
And that's right. That's why I mean Iowa Sooner. That's a good point. Hey, here's the deal. You also got to take another thing into consideration. Yeah, OU's still 6. I don't know what people are talking about saying they dropped out of the top 10.
11th now, Kyla says.
I don't know where that. I don't give a rip about Henri, to be honest with you, if that's where you're seeing it. So you have the recruiting class, but you also have the transfer portal class. And I think that matters now too.
Yeah.
Where do you rank in the portal is going to also
recruiting is no longer high school. It just isn't.
Yeah. Hey, I got trivia for the night.
Bring it.
Before we get to trivia, fanstop.com. Check them out. Use code Surge. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months of the Shirt of the Month Club. Be a part of it. Join up. You will not be disappointed. I can promise you that. And before we do, are you guys live? Yes, sir. Okie Lawn guy, we're live. Here we go. Trivia. Just in time for trivia, Okie Lawn. Easy question, I think. Only one player wears number 33 for Oklahoma this year. Who is it? Who wears 33 coming up this year?
Damon Parker used to wear 33.
He used to. So did Trey Millard. Who wears 33 this year? Not Taylor Wine. It is a defensive player. I'll give you that hint.
It's not Puka Shell.
Not Puka Shell. Nope. Not Burrito.
Alyssa Burrito does wear 33, though.
Look at Jay Johnson starting to believe BV might get it done, baby.
There you go, Jay Johnson. Coming around, buddy.
There it is, Bobby. Phil Picotti. Bobby's on a roll. Bobby's on a heater.
Hey,
he's hot.
Can you go back to Jay Johnson's comment earlier about stars not mattering?
What's up, Topher? How are you? What about stars not mattering?
Jay Johnson OU1 put a comment in here about stars don't matter if you go back and look at that 2000 team. Now, I agree.
Different age, different time period.
I agree, Jay. And I would say the stars would have to align for a team like that team to win a natty. Because
here's the thing.
That team.
Go ahead. Finish up, and I got to say something.
I have a hard time believing. And look, that team had a run. It was their year. There was some Sooner magic. It is different now in the trenches than it was that year. That's just what it is.
Here's the
stars
deal.
Matter. Stars absolutely matter.
Stars matter, but here's what I'll say. I would compare that OU 2000 team to a team like TCU last year. They make the national championship. They got destroyed. That's what you do now without stars. You might be able to make a run, a Cinderella run, and have guys that are seniors and really everything goes your way. Look at that team, TCU. Everything went their way. And then they went up against the big boys in the championship and got destroyed. And that's what I would think would happen, especially now with the playoffs. You're not going to run a gauntlet of 3 or 4 playoff games without stars. Not happening. Not happening. You might win 1 or 2. You're not winning the whole thing.
2 things, though. That team, that 2000 team, did have really, really good guys on defense at the right position.
The defense was elite. Yes.
And the other thing is, Ricky's right. There's a lot of good things that have to happen. I mean, last year, had Bama made it and won the whole thing, it took a Hail Mary to beat Auburn, like just a absolute luck play. And that happens a few years.
Yeah, you're right.
So a lot of people would say it's not luck. You create your own luck. But I'm sorry, that play against Auburn, luck.
There's definitely luck involved. 4th and 30. That's right. Dalpo says it's common sense. You want a team full of the better players. That's what stars are supposed to represent. And let me say something real quick about stars. If stars don't matter, then why do coaches try to get the best players?
Yeah, I mean, they matter, Jay. That's why.
They matter.
Now, I do think
matter. I'm not saying
looking
you have to have all 5 stars, but they do matter. You got to have some.
And I also don't want a 5-star who's going to maybe cause an issue in the locker room. Yeah, I'd rather be lucky than good too, Bomb. Jay, pick your poison here. And by pick your poison, do you mean pick 5 guys from that? Or what? And Ron's Ron's pretty blatant. He's not a BV fan. And I want to bring something up, Jay. I want you to pick your poison there. If I had to pick 2 guys out of that list, it's Fabechi and Sexton. That's the 2 guys I'm picking if I had to take 2 with me. Listen.
I'm pretty high on Ozida.
I know you're high on Heath Ozida. Sooner fan, without the space between your name. I'm going to agree with some of this, and here's what it is, Jay. I am not very high. I'm not very body in, whatever you want to say, on these ranking systems. I mean, you got guys who go watch a game. How much background knowledge do they have about different things? They're assigning stars. I understand.
It's mostly done on camps now, Jeremy. It's the best players against the best players. What do you not like about that?
What do you mean?
Most of the rating systems are after camps now.
Right. And so, Jay, some guys are just football players. You miss some things.
I agree you can, but that's why you have a recruit.
You can hide guys. When all you do is go at camps and maybe there's not a lot of physicality and the pressure's not there. To me, guys get ranked a little higher than they should.
How? I mean, I don't know. I think you can see a lot when you have talent on talent.
I would love to have a guy who ranks players on this show and say, hey, here's what we do. We have a chart we go by. I'd love to have one.
Yeah, we should get somebody on. Okie Lawn says, any suggestions for someone wanting to get into coaching with no experience besides youth football? Rec. Okie, are you wanting to get into coaching?
Okie, let me tell you what I did. I've coached youth and rec, but when I started teaching 20 years ago, I said, I don't want to coach. I want to teach for a couple years because that's what I am. I'm a teacher. Then 2 years, they said, hey, we need a basketball coach. We need a cross country track coach. Would you be interested? And then I just moved my way up. And I love every second of it. It's a way I can see my students outside of the classroom. And it's fun. It's high pressure. It's a lot of those things. But I think that's one way you could do it if you're in the educational field. I don't know.
Hey,
be a lay coach.
I agree with you on this aspect of it. But I also think, I agree. A&M has done nothing. And they've had all the players. But here's what I'll say about that. I also think can't just be 5 stars and you don't have the right coach. You don't have the right system. You don't have the right culture. I think you have to have all of it. You're not just going to go win with a bunch of 5 stars if you don't have the other stuff in place. But I do think you need 5 stars to win.
Jay, I agree with Jay Johnson that just because you have 5 stars doesn't guarantee success. We've seen A&M, we've seen others fail. But having 5 stars can eventually take you to where you really want to go, which is a natty.
You can't win a natty without 5 stars. I don't think.
I agree. Yeah, I'd like to see what's tracked exactly. I would like to see that.
Hey, Eric, that's a great point. They had a great classes, but they never played together long enough. With transfer
and honestly, Jay, we can compare this a little bit to basketball in some ways. And this may be a bad take. Kentucky, year in, year out, gets some of the best athletes, best recruits, highest rated guys. but they're getting beat by older teams. Now, basketball, you only have to have 5. Football, you got to have more, but maybe there's something to be said with guys out of the portal, Jay. I've been less high on that, but the development's the key. Developing talent.
But
you got to have talent, and then you got to develop it.
You have to develop, though.
You can't win with 5. You absolutely can win with 5 in basketball. What?
Hey, the development thing, though, is you have to have them long enough to develop them. That's the deal. You can't have them leaving.
Hey, Ron, Hazelwood, Trajan Bridges, and Theo Weiss with Rattler, all great.
I mean, I agree,
guys.
I agree,
didn't pan out.
Off the bench. I agree with that.
Well, obviously, you don't know what I mean, Jay. When I say 5 guys, I'm talking about maybe 3 to 5 highly recruited guys and then some role players. That's what you do in basketball, guys.
I'm going to say this right now.
You don't need 8 5-star basketball players.
Arkansas will have a national championship within 5 years in basketball. Mark it down. Within 5 years. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are liking the hire.
Monty, he ended up in USC. He went back.
It was the Fab 5, actually. It wasn't the Fab 4, it's the Fab 5. Jalen Rose, Jimmy Jackson, Jimmy King, Jawan Howard, and I'm missing someone, Jay. He's going back to USC.
Jalen Rose?
I said Jalen Rose.
Jimmy Roberts, what was his name?
No, Jimmy Jackson, Jimmy King, Jalen Rose, Chris Webber. Duh. How did I forget? Maybe I forgot like he forgot the timeout. Jay.
What do you think about this comment, Eric? Portal is great because the athlete is already proven. There's less mystery. That's why I think Ole Miss may be doing it right. But here's the thing, Eric. What you don't know is when they go from one team to the next, how they're going to fit. You don't know because you don't have that relationship with them. I think that's the only issue.
Bomb marked and screenshot your comment about Arkansas. Hey, Ron, I would be tickled to death with 24 stars. And here's the thing. Someone, who was it up here in the chat? I think it was Jay Johnson right here. Jay Johnson says, we need 5 stars with coachable 3 to 4 stars. And actually, I'm going to change this a little. I agree with you, Jay Johnson. I'm going to change it. I think you need coachable 5 stars too. To me, sometimes 5 stars aren't as coachable. Maybe they have the big head. They're getting paid more than other people. The first thing you got to have is coachable guys.
Hey, Eric, what are you asking? Are you kidding me, Jay? On what? Which comment?
Maybe Arkansas. I don't know. Or maybe
Eric,
your Ole Miss take.
What about the Ole Miss take that I say that was, are you kidding me? That I don't know if they'll fit?
Hey, I think wasn't Jaden Jackson a 4-star? I thought Jaden Jackson was a 4-star.
Yeah, Eric. What I'm talking about fitting in is, Fabetti and Sharp are fitting in. How did Bothroyd and other guys do last year, though? Not all of them do. Some of them, most of them do. Burks is doing good. And listen, I think OU's done really good in the portal this year. I think they're getting better in the portal. I do, Eric, and I think you can be great in the portal like that. I'm not saying you can't be, but I'm also saying we have yet to see a team win from the portal, national champ, just straight from the portal. That's all I'm saying.
Michigan had a couple guys. Yeah, Jaden Jackson was a 4-star, not a 3. And Jaden Jackson, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't a 3-star. He was a 4-star. And everyone knew Jaden Jackson when he was at IMG with David Stone. Everyone was talking about him. It's not like he came into Norman under the radar. I was higher. I was higher on Jaden Jackson than David Stone. But I'm going to say this. Jaden Jackson, David Stone, Nigel Smith, every guy there pretty much in this class has one thing that we've all talked about in common. High work ethic and coachable. I think that's really that is the key to success, in my opinion.
Hey, what I'm saying is this about the portal, guys, is go look at Ole Miss, for example. Jackson Dart panned out great. I mean, he's done good. I mean, why did Spencer Sanders portal over there? That was kind of dumb. What about the tight end that went with Dart? What was his name? Michael he was going to come to OU. Him and Dart, he went to there. He didn't pan out. He transferred again. He was a highly rated guy. All I'm saying is I do think the portal every year is going to get more important. I do. I think the portal's growing, and it's going to get more important every year. You got to do good. Michael Trigg, there it is. You have to do good in the portal. But what I still want to see are guys like this Walter Nolan guy that Ole Miss got. I want to see him have an outstanding year in Ole Miss with all their guys win a natty. I think. Now, here's what you can say, though, Eric, is that we're at the point now probably where winning a natty, you're going to have a bunch of portal guys because there's so many guys portal on now. You're going to have portal guys. It's how much of an impact will they make?
And Eric, I agree with you, Eric. Eric, I agree with that comment. Okay? I agree with the comment. I have not watched enough of Maliek Hawkins, though, to comment too much on it, but it's also the same reason I didn't go wow when I watched Dylan Gabriel, too. So, just saying. What's the bomb dropping in there?
Don't know.
Some numbers.
You agree or disagree on this comment by me?
I 100% agree, Jay. I'll say this. Every day that goes by, when I see anything about Deion Burks, I get more excited about what OU's got in this guy. I think he brings a passion to the game that's unmatched. He's a physical guy for his size. His work ethic, every route. Watch some of his route running, Jay. The intention with which he's doing every single step is exactly what you want to see in a receiver. And I love what I'm seeing from Gibson.
Yeah, 4-star. Burke's going to get 1,000 yards. You watched the live last night. What did you think about Bowers?
Jay, I watched the live last night, and I do think Burks will get 1,000 or real close to it, if not 1,000. Jay says that Bowers Sharp's going to get 600 or more. Hunter said he'd get 450. Here's all I'm going to say, and I already told Hunter. I called you guys afterwards. If Deion Burks gets 1,000 and Sharp is near 500, we need to start saying that Jackson Arnold's going to throw for more yards than Dylan Gabriel did last year. Plain and simple.
Jay Johnson.
Like those two things can't be true, and then us say, well, Jackson Arnold's going to struggle.
Hey,
that can't be.
Jay Johnson, if that happens, there will be boo birds.
Unless he takes it to the house.
And Eric, that's a good.
And no wow play. So maybe Maliek Hawkins can still be good.
Despite having any arm strength.
That's true. Look, you're right, Jay. Hawkins does have the DNA, Jay, and he does have size. His measurables are there. I've got to watch more of him.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. But let me say something real quick about this.
Really quickly, yeah.
And because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but all you guys have to do is go last year, preseason, pre-spring game, and tell me what everybody was saying about PJ Atabari. It was the exact same stuff you're hearing about Jaden Jackson. We can't block him. He's just unbelievable. Some of the O-linemen were saying, right? Oh, Teddy and them were saying he looks different out there.
Jay?
The fact of the matter is he didn't contribute last year. So
it's sad.
10 days to the spring game, nothing matters to August 30th. Nothing.
Jay, I agree with you because OU's coaches have not wanted to play some of those guys that they talked a lot about. I said that's an issue. Now, Kyla, Burks had a good year at Purdue last year, but look, years ago before the portal, these guys would have stayed there at their school, their program, and depending on who the quarterback was in the offensive system, but now you got free reign to move around, and it's benefited OU this year.
You can't use that term anymore about why were they at a school. I mean, look at Alabama. Was it Jamar Gibbs, their running back, went to NFL? I think he was from Georgia Tech. He transferred in. I mean, it happens all the time now. guys that move in a different level. I mean,
yeah. Hey, Gary, people are saying, I was talking about Maliek Hawkins, which is the 2025 guy. Look, the great thing about the 2025 guys, and I'll say Eric on this and some others who are kind of in agreement with me on the Maliek Hawkins, look, there's another year of high school you get to watch these guys. Their star rating could go up or it may not move at all, but that gives, like, for one, I'm going to be watching some more of these recruits, these commits that have committed to OU now. That's what I did last year.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Hunter dropped these wide receiver yards last year. And I know you're going to think this is a stupid comment, but the way DJ threw the ball to Stoops is similar to the way I think OU is going to use the tight end. I think Stoops was DG's safety blanket after Anthony went down. I really do think Bauer Sharp's going to have over 600 yards.
So if Bauer Sharp goes there where Farouk is, 694, let's just say some of the 600s. Last year, OU did not have 1,000, but pretty close, Stoops. If Bergs takes that role from the slot, then the question is, can those other guys have that many? And a guy that I am still I'm really high on, and he's not being talked a lot about, is Brennan Thompson.
Here's the deal.
I think he's going to get you a 70-yard play every game.
Okay, but here, are you kidding me? 70-yard
no, I'm not
play
kidding you. Every game, you can't guard him, Jay.
Wait, so he's getting 1,200 yards receiving?
70 times 12 isn't 1,200.
What is it? Over 1,000, isn't it? Almost.
About 960, 950.
You think he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver?
Hey, Okie long guy, I didn't get to your thing about Porter Moser, but it's a travesty that they're losing all these guys. And Uzan's going to go to Kelvin Sampson.
Uzan will be in Houston, sounds like. Correct.
Look at Thompson's average last year, Jay. Hey, but, Hunter,
real
quick, 7 catches, 241 yards. Okay? Let's just say he triples that amount of catches. That's 21 catches on the year. That's not a lot. That's a little over 1 a game. Actually, it's not. It's like 1.5 a game. Triple that number right now. What do you got? More than probably most people thought.
Big Orange. Here's what I'll say about Auburn. I do think the first game OU plays on the road in the SEC, it's Auburn. And by the way, I think that game will be it'll be a little tricky, I think. I think Auburn has a lot better year than they had last year, but I still don't think I think I would pick Auburn to win about eight games. I'd probably pick them 8-4.
Yeah, and that's a game OU must win. OU must win at Auburn. Must.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm glad the first game's under lights, though. We're going to get to see a lot of things.
Who's in the Washington per Lusk? There it is, Bobby.
Eric, okay, first off, you begged for 5 stars and you're going to say bench Arnold is what it sounds like. But I know why you're saying that. You're saying that because you're saying the line's trash. I'm not going to buy that the line is trash yet. I'm going to see what they can do. They got the size.
I don't think so, Eric. I think, yes, it would be bad, but it's a road game and it's an SEC team. It's not Kansas. It's not.
When you say correct, you're saying that the line is trash, or are you saying to bench Arnold? Because anyone in their right mind cannot say bench Arnold. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say that. If you're in the right frame of mind, you cannot say bench Arnold. Right now at this moment. That is unbelievably bad.
I understand what Eric's saying. If you lose to a team you're more talented than. But road game, and look, I know. I just think first road game in the SEC, I think it's going to be a little bit closer than – I just think it is. And the fact of the matter is Brent Venables and OU in their first 2 years haven't been great in close games, guys.
Yeah, Jimmy says Moser should have been let go. Look, they couldn't because of the buyout probably. That's what it was. I, for one, wish they would go get the Indiana State kid. And Kenneth and I agree. Wow. Again, Kenneth, we got some solidarity, some agreement, man. Listen, he agree. Jay, you can't go. I just want homework for the night, guys. Go back and watch the games that Brennan Thompson actually got in. No one's within 3 to 5 yards of him. And when they were, they only were because the ball was underthrown. He's unguardable. Man to man, he's unguardable. Unless you have a safety over the top, you're not guarding him.
Yep. I mean,
you don't seem to agree, Jay.
No, I agree. I think that's a different conversation for a different night. Appreciate it, Sooner Legends, and appreciate everybody on here. Thank you so much. Over 45 minutes now. Been a great time having Jeremy back on tonight with us. Appreciate everybody. Great conversation with all we talked about, recruiting and everything that goes along with it. So,
yep. We'll see you guys tomorrow for a terrific